All right, guys, this is going to be part 2 of the series so far with the MG. I did find out that this is an MGB. It is not an MG midget. So this one weighs in around 2,100 pounds with fluids. The MG midget weighs around 1,620 pounds with fluids. That has a 1,500cc engine. This has a 1.8. So it does have a bigger engine. Now, despite its bigger engine, it's still comparable in speed to the MG midget because of the weight gain. There's a couple of tags on this on the rear that said MGB right there, and that lines up with everything I was seeing online. The more I looked at MG midgets, I was like, the body styles were a little different. Anyways, long story short, this is an MGB, so I apologize for that in the first video. But in the last video y'all saw, we got a bunch of things done. We got whole list of things. We got the car running, we got the car rolling, we got it cleaned up. I did just get this in the mail. This has a carb float, I believe it's the correct one, and some gaskets. I believe it's only gaskets for one side of the carb, which is okay because I do have a whole other gasket set coming in. It just hasn't arrived yet. So I'm going to take off that one carb that's having issues, this one right here, and put our new gaskets and the new float in that guy. The other one was not leaking. They still both need seriously deep cleaned and new needles and jets and stuff like that. That's all coming. Hopefully that'll be in this video as well. But I want to see, because I've got a long weekend. It's the 4th tomorrow. I would love to bomb around in this thing a little bit. Just really close around town. I don't trust it as far as I could throw. I still need to tie up a lot of loose ends, but I think I could get it running and driving today. I've got that. I did also order this fuel pressure gauge, super basic El Cheapo, and this cheap fuel pressure regulator. They recommend running these guys at like 3 psi. So I'm putting those on here first thing. A couple of fittings, adapters. So I'm sweating more from that than I have all day. Here she is, right here. And this guy holds a ton of gas. Well, okay. There's some coming out of it. Just rain and fuel. Smells like old gas too. The tank was empty, but I saw a little bit of like just like surface rust in the neck from moisture. So I'm hoping that I don't have a ton of junk in the fuel tank. Now, I do have a workbench, but we're going to do this right here because, quite frankly, last time I did this on the bench, it stunk up my shed so bad. So, this is not a very clean rag, but it'll be clean enough for what I'm doing here. And I did just find out the other day that you're supposed to put oil in these. It helps keep the slide down, so that's interesting. So I'll be adding a little bit of oil. It can be any kind. So I've got some 5W20 laying around, so I don't know how much we're supposed to do. I'm just going to pour it like a quarter to half. I'm probably just going to start at a quarter full and see if my bowl slaps back consistently. I think it just builds up pressure in there. So we'll see about that. But anyways, let's pop this guy off. Let's see if y'all can even see what I'm doing here. The float's actually not leaking, guys, which is crazy. This is the repair I did. We emptied all the fuel out of it, and then I like heated up my soldering gun, and I don't see any dirt in there from it. A little bit of crust on the side from old gas. But yeah, there's not a drop in there, guys. That's crazy. This will work if you're in a pinch. Now, I don't carry my soldering iron with me, so it would be a terrible roadside repair, but that's fascinating that that actually worked. Anyways, let's go ahead and now we at least know that we have a genuine carb bloat. Are they the same? They're exactly the same now. Okay. And then back on with these. Let's see. Yeah, matching the same. I really just can't believe that my little redneck float fix actually did work. This has had gas sitting in it since Sunday, so 3 full days of gas sitting in there, and I did run and drive it. It didn't run great, which I don't know. I don't think it's the float that's the issue. I think it's probably just large specks of dirt and needle and jet ports, but you never know. Could have been the float. Okay. That was a nightmare. Now we'll put our vacuum lines back on, which at some point I'll probably put little clamps on these. I don't know if it's necessary. That's on there. This is our fuel line, which we need a clamp for. This is our overflow. Going back on there. Let's get a clamp for that guy real quick. See right here in our flathead. I don't have a zip right on me, but this will get zip tied up here. But for now, let's get some oil in here. Just gonna do one at a time so I don't get them confused. Just a little bit. Not gonna go crazy full on that since I don't know what the actual amount is really required for that. So we'll just do a little bit in each. Okay, that didn't accept any oil, which is interesting because they did say to oil those. So, oh, it did take a little. It just takes a tiny bit, guys. Now I have oil everywhere, but now I know. So just a tiniest bit of oil down in here. Wow, I mean literally just the smallest amount. It's just making a mess. But now I definitely have pressure on those. And let me get a rag. We're gonna go back in here. My redneck battery terminals are still here, which is awesome. I did get battery terminals and battery cable to replace that horrificness. I'll be doing new ground, new battery terminals on this thing in the very near future. So, and let's see what happens, guys. I'm excited. Maybe she'll run good enough to take for a rip tonight, and maybe not. And if not, I've just got to be patient, but we'll see. We got wipers that do not need to be on. We got a fuel pump pumping. Let's take it out of gear. I think it was out of gear. Oh, she fired right up. Let's give her some choke. Come on, baby. Running good with the choke. Let's go see what the engine bay looks like. Doesn't sound bad. I'm going to let it run on the choke for a few minutes, and then we'll see if we can put it off the choke and run it around the yard even. But definitely running better than it did the other day. Let's see what. Wow. That's why you don't set stuff on the radiator when the car's running. I just launched a fuel oil cap. Thankfully, it didn't hit me, but wow, that was startling. Yeah. That's why you don't stick stuff on your engine when you go to start it, because it'll do that every time. All right, let's see, guys, if good throttle on choke. See if we can take it off choke. It idles, guys, really nice. It doesn't idle really nice. I don't know if let's take it around the yard. I'll try to get some footage. It's gonna be difficult to video this while I drive. I wanna see if we can get it to where it runs without what I believe is the choke on. And then just brakes work decently, at least the fronts. All right, guys, we are moving. It still wants to die. If you're running it with the choke, it still runs pretty rough. So we may not, unfortunately, get that first real drive in today. It's looking like the carbs are just gonna need some work still. So I'm gonna stop the footage here. All right, guys. So today, I think I last left off basically saying that I needed to rebuild the carbs. Car does run and drive, still leaking some gas out the overflow of the carbs. So I've got full carb rebuild, jets, gaskets, O-rings, all the works. It's another smoky hot day here in Virginia. I think the real feel today is 102. So if you see me just pouring sweat, just don't mind it. But I'll be pulling the carbs off this guy, rebuilding them. I don't know if I'll video the whole thing. I'm not gonna video pulling them off. Y'all have already seen me do that 100 times. Here's all the rebuild stuff. But I may do a time lapse of me rebuilding them just for the heck of it, but we'll see. So I just ended up changing the oil on my mom's truck, her Ranger. Got this lovely workspace. But yeah, guys, I did do one cool upgrade to the shed that, to be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't do like 15 years ago. My neighbors next door reached out to me and were like, hey, we got an old window unit. It's been sitting for years. We don't use it. We don't know if it works. Do you want it? And I was like, yes, please. So I popped that thing in here, and here it is. And it's been cranking, guys, for a while. I had to run some calls for my day job today, and it has been blasting. So I'm curious to see. The shed is not insulated or anything, but let's see how cool it is. I've had it all closed up. Oh, wow, guys. It is nice. I mean, it's still probably like 80 over here on this side of the shed, but pardon the mess, I've been going. But on this side, it is so much better, guys. It is blasting. So we're gonna be doing our work right here. And man, that is a game changer. I mean, this is probably like one of the hottest days of the year so far, and it's cranking out air. So that's super exciting. Y'all don't know how exciting that is. I just like kind of wrapped it up in wood, and then I'll come through and like kind of seal around it so there's no big gaps. But so I got the carbs in here. And one of these for my face. We got the carbs in here on the table. I'm gonna start with emptying out the oil out of these guys. It was not very much. So I'm just gonna dump that little bit into my sacrifice rag, as I call it. Some more gas in these things than I know what to do with. I'll start by emptying out all the oil I just put in here. I now know that it takes a very small amount, like a teaspoon or a couple teaspoons. Very, very little. All right, and then I'll just put these back on each one so I don't lose track of what goes on what. Again, guys, that kind of just acts like a hydraulic pressure almost to push down these inner slides right here. It just gives some resistance so it's not all floppy and loose. And then I'm going to try to keep these guys kind of oriented. Already got dirt on my rags, but kind of keep them left and right. Actually, they go like this. So left and right, throttle linkage connecting them. And we will start, I don't know what all, this kit comes with just about everything, so I don't know if it comes with like main jets or exactly what, so we'll see about that. Yeah, okay, looks like we've got gaskets, all sorts of good stuff here, which is amazing. So, okay, let me use this over here as my left and right thing holder. And then we'll start by all right, I pulled out the old ultrasonic cleaner. It's a little small for these carbs, but I did get it in there. I'll have to flip it. I put all the loose pieces and parts that aren't getting replaced down in there. I cranked it up as warm as it'll go. It takes a while to heat this water up, so this is probably gonna have to run for a while. So I'm gonna look over everything I've got and maybe clean some stuff off that I can clean without the cleaner. And I'm gonna top this guy off, and then we will just let that shake and bake in there for a while and see if we even need to touch the carb bodies after that. I'm really excited to see how it does. Doing the lid upside down. That doesn't even fit close. But that's okay. I don't know if you need the lid or not, guys. If any of y'all have worked with ultrasonic cleaners, comment below, because I'm curious. I haven't done a lot. I bought this one years ago. It was super cheap off of eBay. I used it once and it worked great. I used purple primer. I did about let's say 60-40, 40% water, 60% purple power. So maybe I should have done all purple power. I'm going to let that run for a good while and we'll pull that out and see if it even did anything or what. But it would be sweet. And then I'll flip it, do the other side. Really the biggest thing is once that water gets hot, it does a lot faster. So it'll take some time, but we'll see how that works. In the meantime, I'm going to get all these gaskets off of here. Like this guy. This one, I mean, it definitely, I really want to run all this through the ultrasonic cleaner because, quite frankly, just why not? It's going to clean better than I can clean by hand if I get it working properly and dialed in. So let's just get all this prepared to go in there. I'm probably not going to worry about these bolts unless I have some spare time maybe. They're pretty clean. They're all exterior bolts anyways, so not too big of a deal. And I don't know how to get this needle out. I don't know if you're supposed to pry that cap off. There's a flathead here. Let's see what this does. That was it. That was the secret. So here's one carb all done in the ultrasonic cleaner. It looks great. Still a couple spots that I went through with the carbon choke cleaner and blasted and made sure all the little ports blasted out. But all in all, that went great. I've got the last one in there now. Got some parts in there. I kept everything separated, like front and back carb, to keep it simple. And then what I'll do is, once I get all these other miscellaneous pieces clean, I'm going to do like all the left side stuff in there, then all the right side stuff. And that way it just keeps it really nice and simple, and I don't run the risk of, you know, getting like, sorry guys, hang on, getting like right stuff put in the left carb and vice versa. So I just want to keep it really simple like that. But guys, if you are unsure about an ultrasonic cleaner, get one. This one was like 80, 100 bucks. Barely fits this card body. I just did flip, and got it plenty clean enough for me. And it worked amazing. I mean, it got all the junk off here, so I'm going to do everything. This guy is the left carb. Again, it's all cleaned off, ready to go. I can't reassemble it yet till I get all these bits and bops cleaned up. But I'm going to take a peek at how this carb body's looking in here now. That water is getting hot, guys. I'm gonna flip it and run it just a little bit longer on the other side. Give it like another 5-ish minutes. And then I will pull that out and start assembling. All right, guys, so I did a little time lapse of the carbs when I was working on them the other day. I ended up not videoing the whole process because it took me like 1.5, 2 hours to do both of them total. Because there's their learning curve, there's a couple tricky parts, so I was watching some YouTube videos, looking up some stuff on some forums, but they're back on, guys. I know, pardon the lighting, it's getting dark out, but they're on there. I removed the rear shield because, quite frankly, it was just super ugly. And I've seen a lot of guys remove them, and I'll need it removed for potential future use, so I just ended up pulling them off. May powder coat it and put it back on at some point, but for now it's off and gone. But oh, I just noticed we are missing a rear exhaust nut. Anyways. But yeah, guys, so it ran great. I took it down the road, just down the gravel road, running phenomenal. At first I was having a little bit of a mixture issue, so I enriched it a little bit, and that helped a ton, or leaned it out. I'm not sure which way it's turning the screw in does, but it's running great now. Fires right up. In fact, I'll show you. I've got it in neutral. I got the key in here. And you can hear it just fires right up. Running great. All that hissing sound is because I don't have air filters on here, so it's just sucking in so much air. I'm going to be running 2 pod filters on each carburetor. Run right here, one right there, just like that. And that'll quiet down that hissing noise. And once I do that, I'll go through and really tune the carbs, because right now if I tune it to this, without the air filters, I'm going to be pulling in a lot more air. So with the air filters, I'm probably going to have to lean it out a little bit more or enrich it. I don't know which one it is, honestly, but I'm stoked, guys. It's running great. Most all the lights work. I'm just going to shut this thing off. Getting that key out's a booger, but super pumped, guys. I got in today the coolant overflow I'm going to be using, along with the brand new aluminum radiator to replace this old crusty one. And for this guy, I don't know exactly where I'm going to put it yet. It's actually tighter up here than I remembered it being, but I'm going to find a spot for this guy, even if it's, you know, back in here, tucked over in here like that, or something with some custom hangers. Ideally, I was just going to hang it like right here, and it would fit, but it would definitely be interesting. Or maybe I'll make a bracket that goes right here. or even off to this side, because I may be running the intake at some point through there if I do a turbo setup or anything. So maybe over here off to the side, I don't know yet. That's small potatoes, but I'm super pumped. So the next thing really is going to be the radiator, the air filters, this coolant overflow tank, and just put some miles on it, guys. The carb rebuilds fixed all of the problems I was having, being fuel coming out of the overflows. So that was huge, but it looks like it's about to rain out here, so I'm gonna close this thing up and call it a night. But big progress. Car is officially now running phenomenal. I haven't done any timing, any valve clearances yet. All that's to come. I'll make sure to video that for y'all, but I apologize for not videoing the whole carb rebuild, but it would have been a big time lapse, and I just was like, I just need to get this thing done, because first time doing them. So I just didn't video the whole thing. But yeah, guys, so I'm super pumped, and I can't wait to take it down the road. It doesn't have a lot of power as expected. It's a 1.8 liter, and it's 2,200 pounds, because this is the MGB, so it's the heavier, a little bit bigger version. But it's still fun to drive. It's got the top down, windows down, super fun. So we will get back with y'all on the next thing. I guess the next thing will be air filters, radiator, overflow tank, and then hopefully just a lot of cruising for a little while. So we'll get back with y'all then. Peace.